Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to hike I go. Hi-ho, 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 it's off to hike I go. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
So Marty up north, would you rather hike in minus 25 and snowing, or 2 degrees Celsius and raining?
Minus 25 and snowing. I hate rain.
Yep.
I hate rain.
Yeah, I don't think I'd find. I tried. I was gonna put maybe minus 35 or 45 degrees, but no. The worst situation I think is
Don't like hiking
in
in rain. Don't like fishing in rain. Golfing in rain. Working in rain. Don't like rain.
Nope. All right, Marty up north. Would you rather hike 2 kilometers steep uphill or 2 kilometers steep downhill?
Oh, uphill.
Uphill.
Uphill. I'm an uphill guy.
The downhill sounds so much easier.
Some guys love it. Some guys are like mountain goats with their walking sticks and just bouncing around. But I with my age, my knees and my sense of balance is a little bit. I make up terrain going up on guys, and then I lose it on the way down.
I'm finding the same as I'm getting older here too.
Yep.
Marty up north, would you rather hike in Banff or Jasper?
Oh, Jasper.
Why?
Oh, bigger, more isolated, more unmaintained trails. The big trails that I love. Jasper's got one area in particular. It's the Blue Creek north boundary that borders onto Wilmore is just spectacular. Evan and I last year went and did a little bit south of there. We did that South-esque region. And I'm expanding here, but I hear a lot of tourists always brag about Banff. Yeah, if you're a tourist driving along the highway, Banff is spectacular compared to Jasper. But if you're willing to get off the beaten path or even on the path, think of the world-class hikes that are in Jasper.
I'm agreeing with you completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you, Marty up north, would you rather hike the Skyline Trail or the Rockwall Trail?
Skyline.
Why?
The highlight of the Skyline is the Skyline, and it goes on for about a half a day. And to get there I have a scale that I call my work to reward ratio, and so the Skyline has a high reward to moderate work. Mm-hmm. I understand the appeal of the rock wall, which is the rock wall, but it's a lot of work to get to the rock wall, and then you don't get to enjoy it very long.
Mm-hmm. True.
And then if you watch many of my videos, I can think of 2 or 3 other similar rock walls to the rock wall where you can actually camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So camping,
like Tonquin?
Tonquin's one. The ancient wall up in Jasper, very close, easy is the. I always find that the Lake of the Falls is you're hiking in front of a wall and a beautiful little lake.
Yeah.
It's not as majestic as the rock wall, but
you can camp right there.
You can camp right there and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I've been vocal about that. I am just there are people who have trails that they love. I've discovered equivalents elsewhere.
So when I say Skyline and Rockwall, are those 2 of the top 5 hikes up there? There's far. Probably a couple up there, but those are certainly the top 2 there.
They're must-sees. They have to be done. I mean, if you've never done the Rockwall, go do the Rockwall. Would I do it 3 times? No. I have a craving for the Skyline. I quite honestly do the Skyline every 2-3 years, and I think you did a variation on it this year where I have such a craving for it. I'll start at the Watchtower Basin and rush up to it and just look and get that curator bowl and then bugger out.
It's beautiful.
No sense doing the whole, because the end of the Skyline, that switchback is god awful.
Both ends of the Skyline.
Both ends of the Skyline.
Both ends of the Skyline.
But they are worth doing, and they've justly earned their reputation as world class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still want to do the Skyline, and there's a part that you haven't done. I want to do from Watchtower up and then go down through Curator.
Oh, I mean, this is my Bible. This is my Bible. This is Brian Patton and Bart Robertson's Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. I went down this book over the years, and I did pretty much every hike that's on here, and usually I can find it real quick, but the trail he's talking about is Wabasso.
Yes.
And I've memorized the chapter. Wabasso is 181, and we're killing time on your podcast here, but that's no big deal. You can edit this out, and I will tell you why I haven't done Wabasso is because I'm just going to read out.
Oh,
you
can I read it?
you
Oh.
don't need to read it. I'll say it not word for word, but here's how Brian describes the Wabasso. Only the most sadomasochistic hiker would ever attempt the Skyline via the Wabasso. So what does he say at the opening?
I'm trying. Only the most masochistic backpackers in the world will want to hike the Skyline Trail using the Wabasso Lake Trail.
Bingo.
It is without a doubt the most grueling, unpleasant trail in the Canadian Rockies.
Exactly. So, and I trust Brian so much that I would never doubt his words, but I should qualify that because. So no, I won't. But I used to go through this book, and it's actually here's a little trick I used to do. I used to photocopy pages out of Brian's book and laminate them and take them on the trail before the GPS days, before maps. This is a lifetime. And anyway, so I go through the book and I'm doing trail by trail, and that's how I came across Castlegar, because as I'm going through up and down the Columbia ice fields, coming from the south or from the north or the south, you end up in the middle. Mm-hmm. So the last place I ever discovered was Castlegar. And it's like, well, I got to do this trail. And then I tried it the first time and was unsuccessful, and another time, and finally we got there. So
but we wouldn't have gotten there if you hadn't gone and failed a couple times.
No, and failing is, I don't feel bad about failing, trying to get somewhere on my own, on a obscure trail that I only, it's only after going through the whole book that I finally get to Castlegar. But the point I was getting to actually, it's a convoluted path, but just south of Castlegar is
Glacier Lake.
No, it's Mosquito Creek and Molar Pass.
Yeah.
So same thing. So I read the description of Molar Pass in there, and it's nondescript, and I'm just doing Molar Pass, and I get to Molar Pass, and I just go, whoa, wow. And so I asked Brian, I'm like, did you put a nondescript wording of this trail just to sort of hide it and keep it for yourself? Because we talk about world-class hikes. I think that the Molar Loop is one of those world-class hikes. So now back to Wabasso. Maybe you and I should go do Wabasso, because maybe it's something completely spectacular, but Brian and Bart just are hiding it from us by putting that description.
Who knows? Always trying to find new areas to explore in the Rockies.
Yeah.
And that sort of leads into another. Actually, you know what? We'll finish the Would You Rather first, and then I had a couple other things when it came to how Marty researches his trails here. So Marty, where is it here? Would you rather hike in spring or fall weather?
Oh, fall.
What's wrong with spring?
Nothing. It's just that in Canada, not in Canada, but here in the spring, we have two obstacles. One is the snow melt can often take a long time to happen. So spring. When's real spring? Is it March, April, May?
Sure. I was trying to say the spring weather because I didn't want to find it.
Yeah. But if you think of the real spring, you almost can't hike anywhere worthwhile in the real spring because the mountain passes are still snowbound. And then the other problem in the spring is the melt is occurring and the rivers can be torrential. So
I felt on that hike when we did Castlegar, you had a little new respect for the amount of melt coming off a mountain. Not that we haven't experienced it before, but that seemed, even to you, you're like, wow, this is.
We were earlier than I'd ever been.
Yeah.
And there was, we witnessed the rivers. We crossed a couple of creeks and then came back 2 days later. And 2 days later, they were a full foot higher. So
yeah.
Or maybe not a foot, but they were higher, and it would have been almost impassable if it had rained.
Mm-hmm.
If it had rained, it would have been. So spring has that problem, and vice versa. Fall, the only problem in fall is potential cool weather, but otherwise, usually in the fall in the Rockies, beautiful weather, no bugs, tons of flowers, tons of fruit, tons of animals, and you can, if you go really late fall, you have it all to yourself.
Yeah, probably the best time of year to hike.
September.
Yeah, absolutely.
After the long weekend in September, love it.
No one's out there anymore.
No one's out there.
Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to hike I go. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, it's off to hike I go. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho.